Hello everybody and welcome back to the Revive series, where we take a look at Oculus exclusive games and play them on a Valve index, with the use of a third-party application known as Revive. This video is split into two segments, one a review of the actual game, and second a review of how well the game actually works with Revive. Timestamps are listed in the description if you want to jump ahead. Before we get into it, here is the Revive disclaimer. While Revive is an excellent tool, it is definitely not perfect, and your mileage may vary. Today we're taking a look at Journey of the Gods. Journey of the Gods is an action-adventure VR title available exclusively from the Oculus Store for $29.99, and it does support cross-buy. Journey of the Gods will have you slashing, shooting, and god power casting your way through 4+ hours of cartoony action. Enemy and level design in this game is a true standout. There's a large variation of enemy types that can be truly imposing when you first see them. There's a large variety in how every level plays out and its overall design. There's everything from open levels with more of an emphasis on exploration, where you also get to take flight. There's a lazy river ride which quickly turns into a chase by some monstrosity. There are straight up boss battle levels, and there's even one that plays out a little bit like a tower defense. This variety helps to keep the game interesting throughout, which is good because there are no RPG elements to this game, and combat can be quite bland. While there is an emphasis on quickly switching weapons and reloading, and while there is a specific combat tactic to battling each and every enemy, combat is just not a standout in this game. You do get the option to unleash some god powers, which can be quite cool, but are more tools to solve the overall mission rather than to become overpowered and take on hordes of enemies. There are, however, sporadic moments where you do take on the form of almost a rock golem, and creatures will actually flee from you, and during this time period you are invulnerable and extremely powerful. This is just one more exciting twist the game throws your way. Rather than any type of RPG or leveling system, instead there are items you can find throughout each mission, and once you collect 3 of a particular type, you will upgrade that power. This includes your sword, your shield, your crossbow, your max number of lives per level, and the amount of god belief you can carry, allowing you to stay in god mode for longer. The upgrades start out simple: a longer sword, a bigger shield, more ammo, and then progress into special power-ups such as a charge shot with a crossbow or a shield blast ability. So spending the time to find these power-ups scattered throughout the missions feels completely worth it. Storyline elements are few and far between. There's a pretty cool intro cutscene, and then after that there's some interaction with some local inhabitants, but that's about it. The game will have you saving phoenix-like entities that will hatch from eggs, granting you new godlike abilities. When in god mode, you get a new overhead perspective of the world, and you have the ability to use powers such as rain lightning, grow or shrink trees, stop time, and relocate smaller creatures. Towards the end of the game, you will need to use all of these skills in unison, either to defeat a boss or progress through the mission. Graphically, this is a very nice looking game. Some of the bosses in particular look amazing, and the comparison to Zelda is obvious, but this game leans way more into the cartoony, kidsy section in comparison to the most current iteration of Zelda Breath of the Wild. From a control and comfort standpoint, this game has everything you've come to know and expect from a VR title. There are multiple control and comfort settings, options for both standing and seated positions, and adjustable comfort vignetting settings. Journey of the Gods is clearly one of the more robust titles available for VR. With its mix of great graphics and constant twists and turns, it's a title that most will enjoy. However, with fairly shallow combat, my enthusiasm for this game waned a bit over time. It's actually pretty easy to recommend this title to most people, but it's definitely not going to make the list of one of my favorite VR games. Okay guys, here is the Revived review. Now we start off looking into playability. How well does this game run? Can you play it start to finish? Are there any game-breaking bugs? Now I'm happy to report that I did not experience any, and while I did not play this on a Rift or Rift S, I did play through this entire game on an Oculus Quest, and my experience was very similar, just with improved graphics. Now prior to version 1.7 of Revive, this game is completely unlaunchable, and then in later versions you can launch the game, but it is not playable until version 1.7.3 or above. I did, however, have to use the inject function in Revive, otherwise I failed the Oculus check. I also had to use the patch feature in Revive, or my controllers were not tracking. With these minor additional hurdles, I'm only giving it a 9 out of 10 in terms of playability, as it was not immediately right out of the box playable through Steam VR. So moving into performance, I ran into no issues in this game. I adjusted the settings throughout, but I maintained a high frame rate and really saw no visible issues. While performance is system dependent, this game met my expectations as if it was a straight up Steam VR game and not a game running through Revive. So I'm going to give this a perfect score when it comes to performance. So last up are the controls, which I really don't have to say much about. They performed exactly the same as my experience on the Oculus Quest. So overall, I would be giving this a revivability score of 9.3, nearly perfect. So if you want to jump in and play this game on a non-Oculus headset, well, I recommend it. Both the game and how well it runs on Revive are great.